But the Springboks have just got themselves a massive win over the All Blacks in round 3 of the Rugby Championship. This game had a bit of everything. It had back and forth, it had drama, it had physicality, and in the end, it was just an absolute spectacle for those at Ellis Park, and also those watching around the world. I know a lot of eyes were on this game, and in the end, 31 points to 27, the win for the Springboks. Now, in this review, we're going to be looking through at a few of the stats that did take place, the try scorers, and what happened throughout their 80 minutes. I will mention, though, both sides from the get-go, they looked like they were ready for a physical matchup. It is always expected when South Africa play New Zealand. Definitely in South Africa, altitude a factor. They wanted to wear each other down. And in the end, that might have been a little bit of the difference maker as this game got close to its conclusion. But running meters, so even in this game. 376 for the Springboks compared to the 356 of the All Blacks. The Springboks, they beat 27 defenders in this game. New Zealand beating 17. New Zealand having 7 clean breaks to the Springboks, who did have the 3. But overall, a very fast-paced game of rugby. We saw a few kicks in behind, a lot of running the ball back. I know that from looking at the lineups, both of these sides wanted to play a bit more of an attacking-oriented style of rugby, and that is what we got. South Africa, in the end, managing to score themselves 3 tries throughout this game. The first of Bongi Mbonambi, which is the one that a lot of people are talking about, but we will get to that in a short moment. Quagga Smith scoring again. The impact that that man brings off the bench is just unrivaled anytime he makes his way on. And in fact, you could say the whole of the South African bench, when they went out there on the field, they changed the later stages of this game. And then the third try was scored by another man who made his way off the bench, that being Grant Williams. For New Zealand, Cody Taylor, he scored the opening try of the contest very early on. We saw the yellow card of Apalele Fasi that then led to New Zealand having a rolling maul. Cody Taylor getting the try off the back and giving New Zealand a dream start up against the Springboks here. Caleb Clark, phenomenal game for that man. Scored 2 tries, also was extremely solid under the high ball. And in a game that was going to involve so much kicking, that is exactly what you want. I will say Will Jordan out on the right wing, he really didn't perform in this game at the same level as we expected. At the end of the day, he's got 33 tries from 33 games. But this one, he never really looked like scoring one. Whereas Caleb Clark, it looked like it was going to be hard to stop him from getting that double, if not a hat-trick as well. And then another try that was scored in the game, it was Jordie Barrett right at the start of the second half. Damien Dialende, after such a great first half, throwing a bad pass, Jordie Barrett capitalised and gave New Zealand a decent lead. Now, at times in this game, New Zealand were up by 10. And at the time, while doing the live commentary, people said that that was going to be enough. But it just wasn't. I said it at the time as well. Up against a side like the Springboks, you need at least one more try on top of your 10 points to be able to stop them. They've been great in the later stages of a game, definitely with that impact from their bench. In this game, it was no different. Malcolm Marx, couple wonky lineouts, but overall, very strong. Almost scored himself a try and also helped in those breakdowns alongside Quagga Smith. And having Ebenezer, massive game changer for South Africa as well. I think that one of the bigger concerns that came out of this game for the Springboks, though, was Kurtley Arendse taking the head knock. I do not believe he will be there next week now. So that opens up the opportunity, more than likely, for Makazole Mapimpi in the starting lineup out on that left wing. But the question is he going head-to-head with Will Jordan, or are the All Blacks going to make a change? Possibly have Mark Talia start in that contest. But I haven't talked about it much yet, and I know people are probably eagerly awaiting me to talk about it. And I'm scared to talk about it, to be honest, but the refereeing in this game, I don't want to go too in-depth with it. I have to mention it just a little bit, though. The All Blacks, they conceded 14 penalties in this game. They only received 1 yellow card, though, off Atuanga Fasi right near the end of the game. There were many moments of ill discipline from the All Blacks, and, you know, you could say about that first try that South Africa scored. But at the same time, their own ill discipline at crucial moments in the game, I think, is what also cost the All Blacks in this contest. Yes, there were some big moments. And yes, there were a few controversial ones. But you still have to take your chances when you have that ball in hand. New Zealand, they weren't clinical enough. Beauden Barrett, last minute of the game, kicking the ball away, giving it back to South Africa, not once, but twice, when you needed a try to win the game. Just some decision-making that needed a little bit of adjusting, I would say, to help New Zealand get the win there. 5 penalties against South Africa. Their discipline was extremely good in this game. They had a lot of handling errors, though. I believe got into the double figures for this matchup. So that is something that South Africa will look at and go, right, if we can cut down on those errors, we could be a lot more strong in the second test. But yeah, that first try of Bongi on Manambi, it's one that's going to be replayed a lot. The TMO, he did miss it in terms of the knock-on from Bongi on Manambi. I think Stevie Wonder even saw that ball was dropped. But then there was also the timeout that Sasha Feinberg Ngome Zulu got because he didn't get to take the kick in time. So those 2 points could have been crucial later on in the game had it been right down to the wire, maybe if New Zealand were in the lead in those final moments. But yeah, it's one of those ones that I know already the comment section is going to be purely based off the refereeing. So just try and be nice, I think, is the thing that I'll say. Like, yes, moments can change a game, but for neutral people watching this game, they would have absolutely loved it. Like, it had fast-paced nature to it. There were tries being scored, there were runs, there were drop kick attempts, there was a bit of everything that, for a casual viewer, I think would have really hooked them on the game of rugby. But nonetheless, do let me know what you thought of the match in the comments down below. You can tell that I'm nervous, but we'll see how it goes, and we will see you all for the next one.